Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am reporting to you from my new studio. Just kidding. It's my office at this school. We actually made an office. There's a little nook off the side of our kitchen. And so it's like my own little green room, and I like it. So hopefully, I'll be doing more of the videos right here. Hope you are doing well and gearing up for the holidays and just all the craziness. We have our school recitals this weekend, December 14th and 15th at Millbrook Baptist. We're right across the street from Millbrook Elementary. Everyone is invited. Our recitals are at 2, 4, and 6 on Saturday, and then 2 and 4 on Sunday. And we asked that everyone bring a canned food or a boxed food for the food drive for the Food Bank of North Carolina. And so please bring something to share with those who are in need. And hopefully, it sounds like the food bank is doing some big things, and so they're going to have an overabundance of food, which is amazing problem to have. Maybe it could last them and the people they're helping a long time. We're going to try is the word, to live stream the recitals on Facebook. I will be doing it, and since I'm going to also be talking, it might be a little tough, but I'm going to try. So I will tell you that. So if you're not able to attend, you can watch on Facebook. Also, something that's coming up this weekend is on this Sunday, my church, Community United Church of Christ. We are having our cantata, and there's a lot of us that are faculty members of the school that are participating in this. I am singing. My mom is the choir director, and so Anne is the choir director, and then also Stephanie and Cindy and Jennifer, who are teachers at the school, are going to be playing for it. So please come on out. It's at 10:30. It's off of Wade Avenue and Dixie Trail. We'd love to have you. All right. So two more things. We have a makeup week next week, so that means there are no regular lessons. So if you have not spoken to your teacher, please contact your teacher to find out if you do have a makeup. Otherwise, we will see you in January. Um, Also, for parents and people who are not even um, parents at the school but are just interested in the subject, we are going to have a parent support night Sunday, January 12th, which is the day before school starts again. And we're going to have a speaker on executive function and different ways to help your student be able to practice what you can take into doing homework and stuff like that. We always need help with that kind of stuff. We don't always, we need that kind of reminder, I think is more the right word. But also you can come learn about the school. You can and learn how we as the teachers and as we as a school, how we can help you help your child become the musician of their dreams, because the majority of the work happens at home. And so we want to be able to support you to support your students. So please, you can reach me at raleigh school of music@gmail.com if you were interested in that. I will also be putting it on other places as we get a little bit closer, because it's a really cool opportunity to be able to work with someone like this who can help us literally break down the steps of how to practice, how to help our student practice, especially when it gets hard. And you guys know how that goes. So I want to talk a little bit today about rest. Are you resting? That's been very hard for me my entire life. I wanted to start out by looking at the definition of rest. And I Googled it, and Merriam-Webster says the rest is a bodily state characterized by minimal functional and metabolic activities. Seems right. It seems right. But you know what's so funny is that when I Googled it, it wasn't the first thing that came up for rest, believe it or not. The first thing that came up for us was a software thing, an architectural software thing. Isn't that kind of symbolic of our society, of the US, that we rest, the idea of rest is so foreign to us that when we literally Google the word, it's not the first thing that comes up because we just are so not used to it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some different examples of this, but then also how this relates back to being a music student and being a musician. So I love Europe. Anybody who knows me knows that I love Europe. I love touring Europe. I love being there. I was there for a semester when I was in college. I was in Italy. I was in a place called Siena, which is about 30 minutes outside of Florence. It's like a medieval town. You can't even drive in the town, it's all stone. You have to park your car on the outskirts. Now they can have Vespas and stuff like that, but it's so ancient that nobody can drive through it because there's not the stone is everything is made of stone. And when I was there, and that was like, gosh, eons ago, I think that was 2003. I think maybe it was 2003, that every day at 2 p.m., everything would shut down and would not open again until after 4. And they called that riposo because everybody would go home and go and take a nap or go rest. What a concept, right? I've since been to Italy and I'm not seeing that very much anymore. But that idea of taking that time is amazing because nobody seemed to be the slightest bit guilty or shameful that they're losing business or whatever it is. They just did it. It was just a part of their society. And I know that at one point Spain had siesta. I don't know if it's happening anymore. I mean, we're such a production-based world now, who knows? But just that idea of like taking specific time to rest and understanding that, yes, you might miss out on something, but that's okay because rest is that important. So I was speaking to a parent yesterday at the school, and she looks good, really good. She has lost a ton of weight. She looks so healthy. And I was like, how did you do it? How, because I've been on, everybody who knows me knows I've been on a losing weight health journey for forever, pretty much, but especially in the past few years. And she said the difference was is that she actually has time now to like take care of herself. She was working in the school system before, and so she's no longer doing that. But you just don't even realize, and I worked in the school system too for a couple of years. There's just no time. There's no time. You are exhausted by the time you're done teaching, and then you go home, and all you want to do is just, well, I mean, you rest, but not until it's like really late at night. But which is not the rest I'm talking about. But just I can't imagine having kids and having like you have to take care of all the things at home, and even hearing now that a lot of schools are opening even earlier than they did when I was younger. It's just the school system doesn't seem conducive to rest. So anyway, she has since taken a break and she looks great. Uh, who would have thought that it would just take rest for that to work? We think we have to go more and more and more, and that's the mentality for me. I mean, I've literally been trying to lose weight for years, punishing my body, working out like a fiend. I mean, I have a story when I was maybe a decade ago, maybe, yeah, maybe 12 years ago. I was like, I'm going to lose weight. And so I joined this boot camp class. And so we would meet 3 days a week. And one of the classes, an example of it, for an hour is to do burpees. That was the class. Well, my hormones got out of whack then. I had to go to a heart doctor. Wore a heart monitor for a month. I did all these different things. And I couldn't calm down after I worked out. I just couldn't calm down, and I would wake up in the middle of the night. Like I couldn't do that. Um, so I had to stay away from that exercise. So I was working myself to death. I was not getting any smaller. I wasn't getting any healthier. In fact, it's the other way around. I was beating up on myself. And so I've done that every now and then. I found now, I'll tell you just a little caveat that I found a really good workout regimen for myself. And it's just less time now, less time that I'm working out, but I am still very regimented. Nobody can part me from my workout routine because I love it. But I think that I don't do hour long anything now unless I'm walking. I don't do that. So little like I run, but I run a mile. Like I just do short things. I train, but I train for half an hour, a few times a week. Like I do Pilates, but that is much easier on your body. Um, anyway, so I digress. She looks great, and she just added rest. I added something too that I think has done better than any of the stuff that I'm talking to you about, and that is somatic exercises. The moment I added the workout witch, you guys go look her up. She is good, really good. It's like repeated exercises where like I'll give you an example. Like one of the biggest ones is that you rock your body. Like it's like a hip opener or something. So it's like repeated stretching over a period of time. And it's like 10-minute intervals. It's not any huge time commitment. And she wants you to do it lazily. So it's like you can do it in your bed, you can do it anywhere. So the workout witch, go look her up. I lost 25 pounds. I kid you not, in like a few weeks. And that was like the only change. That was the only change. So that's a good way to rest. Anyway, um, so yeah, so she just by getting rest, she was able to lose weight. I go to Community United Church of Christ downtown. It's off of Wade Avenue and Dixie Trail. And a lot of the members there are professors at state, so very smart professors everywhere, very earth conscious activists. They're like picketing the death penalty and like they're just really active. And I also noticed how much certain people in that church work, how much they're giving back. So these people are working during the day, or they're not, I mean, or they're retired or whatever it is, but then they are breaking their backs doing for others, breaking their backs to the point where they are completely denying their own health. And it's interesting that even people who are intellectual types have this need, I don't know, to do for others and not take time for themselves, not to rest. I think it's interesting. We are surrounded by it. We are constantly given messages that if we aren't doing, that we're lazy or that we're selfish or self-centered. It's tough. It's tough being in this time. And I feel it. I feel it here at the school. Not because anybody's doing it, but I feel a pressure that I put on myself. You guys know that I've been on a mental health journey for a while now. Some of you probably didn't know that I was on a mental health journey for a while. And now I'm actually, talking about it a little bit, but I have been unhappy for a long time, and I think it's because I've been overworked. That's one thing. It's the pressure that I put on myself. It's the job of a music school owner or a music director is that I have to put out fires sometimes. I have to be able to put out fires. But I would just take it all in and then like blame myself and, you know, shame myself a lot. And this summer, after all the hacking and everything, I worked myself to the bone. If I wasn't physically doing something for the school, if I wasn't typing something up, I was definitely thinking about it. I was definitely ruminating on it. It was not a fun time for me. But I don't think I'm the only one who this is happening to. I think that this is happening everywhere. And it's like, it's just like this self-perpetuating thing that we just like see each other and then we have this the guilt and shame and it just like it's just this hamster wheel that we can't get off. How does that relate back to being a musician? Well, a lot of musicians, unless you're in the 1%, have to piecemeal their career together, have to do a bunch of different things. Not only because they need the money, but they also need the experiences. We crave the experiences. We want to do different things. There's a lot of good things to it. I mean, you get to meet a lot of different people. You get to see different, it's not sitting in a 9 to 5, sitting there like, doing the same thing every day. It's getting to do a bunch of different things, but also it comes with stress. Getting from one place to the next, working with different types of people, and maybe not people that are always the best to work with. There's a lot of different things. And so when I see these musicians that are working 7 days a week, working even 6 days a week, taking jobs last minute when they're not prepared, like working themselves to the bone, A, because either they have to, or B, because if they say no, then they're blackballed from whatever organization it might be. That's a lot of pressure. You got to have time to yourself because you'll start pulling an errand and completely identifying with your job, and that's how you describe yourself to people. But we're so much more than what we do, than our job. And those 2 days, a minimal 2 days, that's when we get to really focus on that. And I think that's where we kind of get to figure out who we are. So I just don't think it'll ever work ultimately. And that's why I've had sometimes that teachers have come here and in past times, and I find out that they are, working full time somewhere else or whatever it is. And then I find, it never works because you cannot work yourself like that. You will break. You will have a breakdown. I have had it myself, and it was recent. And it's been over and over again for years, but my biggest, I think, was recent. So how do we relate this back specifically to this school? How does this relate to the fact that we do have a school semester and we do have an expectation of our students being here? And um, how does that relate? Well, when you first come in, one of the first things that you're given is the calendar. You see when the breaks are. I put them in. The important dates are right there. We are about to have a long break, have a long time for rest. All the way until we don't start again until January 13th. It is built into the semester. You pay based on that, right? Are you going to take that time to rest? Or are you going to pull an Aaron? This is what Aaron has done. Aaron has gotten so burnout, done so much that I'll make a hasty decision. Aaron will make a hasty decision and pull out before they're ready to because you're so stressed. You can't even take a second to like think about it, to think, is this actually what I want to be doing or not? But how do you know you want to be doing something unless you do it? So that's why when you have breaks, they have to be built in. This same goes for students at this school. I see this over and over again. Students are way too overprogrammed, way too overprogrammed. And that makes the adults, the parents, too overprogrammed because you are driving them around. I come from a family that didn't have a ton of money. I was only allowed to do a thing or two on the weeks because we couldn't do anything otherwise. And I got time to play in the trees and to make forts, and I got time to dress up in clothes and put on costumes and to I have a very healthy imagination. Uh, I'm not sure that kids today are getting to do that as much. I see we got to get this person and this and this and this and this. I mean, I wonder if it's because we are trying to give them what we didn't have, or that we want them to have, we want them to be able to go as far as they want to go. I just think that kids need to learn how to rest, and we're not teaching them that. So, how does that fit into us? We are looking for students. I will consistently say this over and over again and repeat this till I'm blue in the face. Students who want to do this, who want to be musicians, who are not looking to just fill another space in their schedule, but are genuinely looking to do this. That's why I keep adding more things to this, because to me, it's all part of the same thing. It's that one thing. I mean, I guess it's the same mentality as sports, because they will have their games and they'll have practices and stuff. We just don't want to maybe just do sports. So maybe, somebody said at some point that it was like having a sport and then having something else is, I think, a good rule of thumb. But now, if the sport is taking every day of the week, is that providing the rest? Is that providing the enrichment that you need? I don't know. Only you can be the judge of that, but I know there has to be rest involved. While there's minimal activity. So, what can we do over this break? This break that we have put into the schedule. Could you, parents who are entertaining this time, could you put boundaries around that? Could you take a few days where you're not entertaining your kids? I wonder what would happen if you let them make their own meals or do their own chores. Something where you are not having to do, that you're specifically taking care of yourself. It's so easier said than done, though, and I definitely have not figured it all out. I've been really, really depressed because of how overworked I was, and I feel like I'm starting to come out of it. I feel like I'm asking for help more. I feel like I'm being more honest. Um, I'm finding things that I find, like, I had forgotten, like, joy, like what brought me joy. One of the biggest things I've noticed is that technology has become an anxiety for me. Like, I am trying, it's so funny. It's an anxiety, yet I mean, I'm still working on, I'm addicted to it. I mean, like a lot of us are, right? But I am getting away from it a little bit more each day. And I'm noticing, oh my gosh, I have like time to think about what I actually like, what I don't like, what I want to do, what I don't want to do, who I am and who I'm not. What a concept. I mean, it's just kind of ironic how long I've been trying to chase my purpose, doing all these different classes, wonderful classes, positive intelligence, Laura St. John's program, studio evolution, even therapy. Like, I'm doing all these different things, but the one thing I wasn't doing was resting. The one thing I wasn't doing was giving myself a break. It's interesting. What would happen? What would this community look like if we gave ourselves a break? I think we would find out what we like. I think we would spend less money. I think we would be searching less. I think we would be more comfortable with who we are and what we're doing if we could just really take those times that we plan to rest to actually rest. Apart from technology, apart from trying to entertain others, apart from trying to make others happy. I mean, even right now, as I say it, I feel guilt and shame for saying that, right? That I feel like guilt because I want to take care of myself. What a luxury. And I realize that there are people that do not have the luxury of resting. So what if we rest and maybe that energy is put out and they feel that they feel hope. Because I think those people who don't have that luxury, they don't probably don't have any hope. They don't feel any hope. It's such a good time of year to be thinking about this. I mean, in the Christian tradition, we're lighting the candles of Advent and we've lit the candle of hope and joy and peace. Or maybe we're about to do I can't remember if we've done two or three. I think we've done three candles. No, two, we've done two candles. So it's hope, joy, peace, and love. How can we feel any of that when we don't have rest? I don't know. Well, I hope that you have taken something from this and that maybe you'd want to set the example for your kid too on what it means to look like to truly take care of yourself and to take that rest. I think I said this and you probably don't remember this, but I talked about freedom days a long time ago that Studio Evolution taught me about. And freedom days are days during the work week, not even the weekend, but the work week where you take time to not work, but you're dreaming and maybe planning and relaxing and all those things that are necessary to be able to create. I thought it was cool though that they kind of give you permission to do that during a work week. Now, have I been taking those freedom days? No, not consistently, but it's hard to do that when you're depressed. But I have hope that things are going to change and for the new year. Really quick, I don't know if I said this. I don't know if I said this. Um, if you decide to come to the recitals, which we would love to have you, please bring a canned or boxed food for the food bank of NC Drive. What I see on my school social media, because I'm not getting on my personal one. Looks like a lot of people are donating right now, which is good. Isn't that a great problem to have an overabundance of food for people that need it? Let's contribute to that. Let's make it even more difficult for them that they have so much food they don't know what to do with. So please bring that. Also, we are for every registration that happens between now and January 1st, a portion of your registration will go towards a scholarship for a student. And this student will be based on free and reduced lunch at Wake County schools. Um, and some other criteria as well. But we want students who are really interested in playing an instrument this will be for next fall, for the whole school year. It'll be an instrument rental, and then also the registration. We want every student. I mean, it has been my dream for so long. That's when I knew that the school had made it, when we could have had a significant portion of our students be scholarship. Haven't been able to get there yet, but I'm hoping that will be the case. All right. Well, enough talking. I will see you guys soon. Happy holidays.